Hi, I'm Dennis Phillips, and welcome to Everyday Reloading and Shooting. There's a link in the description below to this video where I recently did a load development test using the step down from max method using a 73 grain ELD match bullet and Varget powder. And we tested loads from 22.5 grains to 23.5 grains. And I found this load at 23.3 grains. The extreme spread was 1.01, which is not impressive, and 0.92. We shot two groups, but the best 4 out of 5 on each of these, we shot a 0.44 and also a 0.41. And so if you average those, we get an extreme spread average of 0.97, but a best 4 out of 5 at 0.43, and that scores a 0.70 when you average those two together. But what I'm looking at here is this best 4 out of 5 at 0.44 and 0.41. Yes, we had a flyer, which can be shooter error, or it can be a difference in the case size or internal volume of the case, maybe an extra granule of powder. But this 0.44 and 0.41 are tight enough that I think that's worth developing. So I have come up with this target, and we'll be shooting 5 groups, 5 shots each, Varget powder with 23.3 grains of powder using a 73 grain ELD match bullet. Then there's also a video attached where we recently were shooting a ladder test. We were testing a 73 grain ELD match bullet with Hodgson's H335 powder, and we were shooting a ladder test. We were going from 21 grains of powder all the way up to their maximum charge of 23.7 grains. And close to the starting charge weight at 21.6 grains, I found this group that shot a 0.63 inch group with the best 4 out of 5 at 0.426. We did have one failure to fire in that group from a bad primer, but still, with 4 shots, we had a 0.63 extreme spread and a 0.46 best 4 out of 5. So I'm also loading 25 rounds at that charge weight, 21.6 grains of H335 with a 73 grain ELD match bullet. We will shoot 5 5-shot groups at that charge weight, and we will see how those compare. There's a link in the description below to 2 videos where I was doing load development with H335 powder and also with Varget powder. And here's a picture of the load I developed with the H335 powder at 21.6 grains. So here's the target that we'll be shooting today. We'll be shooting 5 5-shot groups loaded at that particular charge weight. I want to see if I can reproduce the results that I had previously. So as always, you're welcome to enjoy the music while I fast forward through my videos. And there will also be a second target that I will be shooting as well with the Varget powder, shooting at 100 yards. These are really shooting scattered all over the place, and it's the same load. Some are shooting scattered and low, and others are shooting scattered and high. I think my scope is not holding 0, so I think I need to swap out scopes on this rifle and then come back and run this test again. But I'm going to mark these and we'll see how the rest of them do. All right, let's bring them in. These did rather poorly, but I'm actually starting to think it's not the rifle or the ammo. I'm actually starting to think this is the scope. So let's bring them in and have a look. Okay, so these groups are absolutely horrible. This was the fouling group here. That's probably 1.5 inches, maybe a little over. But this was the main target that I was shooting at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of these is missing altogether. I know I shot 5 here. And with this group, 3 of them aren't even on paper. I had 1 here and 1 here. The bottom of the circle was my point of aim. And look at that, 1 there, and 3 are not even on the paper. And then this last group, I see 4, but I know I shot 5. So one of those is not on paper. So I believe it's the scope that's off. I don't have any rounds, no matter how sorry they are, that group that poorly. So anyway, we're going to shoot the Varget now, the Varget targets, and we will see if those group similarly, because on the prior group, there's a picture here. This is what this load is based off of. That's pretty tight right there. But this is just, it's just sad. I'm pretty sure it's the scope though. So we'll see how the next target does. All right, we'll see how it goes. Next up is a 73 grain ELD match bullet with Varget powder at 23.3 grains, pushing 2,575 feet per second, shooting at 100 yards. As always, you can feel free to enjoy the music while I fast forward through my shooting, or you can fast forward to the results just following. All right, it's definitely not the scope or the rifle. This Varget shot much more consistently. The first one there with the H335, I don't know why this load shot so much differently from the previous target, but it did. And this one, I don't know if I was just a little bit off today. Some of these didn't group as well as I hoped, but some of them grouped very well. So we're bringing it in. Let's take a look. Okay, so my aiming point was the bottom of the circle. So these were shooting high. In fact, all of these were shooting high. I have a pretty tight group here. You've got 4 out of 5 that are all touching and one off to the side. That's going to be like a half-inch group there. Here you've got 3 clustered together and 2 touching here. That's going to be probably about a 0.9 group. This is going to be probably right at 1.2 inches, but this 4 out of 5 here, that's going to be about a half an inch. And then over here, this was probably one of my more scattered groups, but we still had a 4 out of 5 that were pretty close, within, I'd say, 3/4 of an inch, maybe 1.2 inches overall. But we will take these home, measure them, and see. But at least I know that the scope is not bad, so that's a relief. Okay, so here are my results from the range today, shooting 2 targets, the first of which was the 73 grain ELD match bullet with 21.6 grains of H335 powder. These turned out quite a bit differently from the load I based this on of 21.6, which the last time I was out at the range, I had 1 failure to fire, but I had a 0.63 inch group and a best 4 out of 5 at 0.46. And this is what I got today. The first group was at a whopping 3.9 inches. The second group was at 3.10. The third group, here's what's really crazy. This is my point of aim, the bottom of this circle. And my group size was 6.75 inches with 3 out of 5 missing. So the first shot I was shooting here, my first shot actually landed right here. And then I think I shot once or twice more and didn't see anything. Then I had a shot here and then another one. So 3 of those were off the paper completely. No idea where they went. They could be just over the edge here or down here somewhere. But 6.75 inches on my group of 2 shots. No telling what the actual group size is with the others missing somewhere off the paper. Then on my 4th shot, I had a group of 2.19 with 1 missing. So I had shots here, 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 and here, and 1 that was somewhere off into Never Never Land, I suppose. But anyway, a 2.19 inch group. So group number 5 had an extreme spread of 4.9 inches with 1 off the paper. So no telling how big that group actually was. So out of 5 groups, I had none under an inch. And I had 5 that didn't even make it onto paper. So very disappointed. The average extreme spread for those that are on paper is 4.17 inches. So you might look at that and say, well, maybe the problem is Dennis just can't shoot. Well, here's the second target Dennis shot, and I think it shows that he can. So this was the second target where we had a 73 grain bullet with 23.3 grains of Varget powder. The first group was at 1.24 inches, and I had a extreme spread of 0.62 inches. The second group was at 1.46, had a flyer over here, but these seem to be grouping pretty well. This 4 did at 0.74 inches. So you get down to the third group here, and I had an extreme spread of 0.51 inches. And look at this, because of how these are clustered, the best 4 out of 5 was 0.20 inches. And this flyer here kept it from being a 1/4 inch group. So very impressed with that. Come down to the fourth group, I have an extreme spread of 0.91 inches and a best 4 out of 5 at 0.72. And on the last group, I had an extreme spread of 1.20. So I had a flyer here, but otherwise the best 4 out of 5 were at 0.73 inches. So on this group, I had 2 out of 5 that were an inch or less on the extreme spread here and here. And on the average 4 out of 5, I had a 0.60. So this Varget powder shoots considerably better than the H335. I may still work with that some and see if I can find a load in there where it works. I thought I had one. But you know, when I was looking at this, and I couldn't figure out how these were grouping so differently here, here, and then on here, I thought there was something wrong with my scope. I thought my scope was messed up. And these groups are just all over the place. But then when I got to this target and things turned out differently, I realized it wasn't the scope that was off, but it was the ammo. So those are my results today. If you've got a load that works for you, or if you've used either of these powders, drop a comment below and let us know. So if you have any ideas or thoughts about this video, please feel free to leave a comment below. Or if there's anything that you would like to see in the future, please let me know that. I always try to interact with everyone who comments. And I hope that you will like and share this with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.